Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. We are playing Blade and Sorcery on the PC version, and yes, I have another interesting topic to talk about today. I met my first flat earther the other day, and oh boy... No, I have some stuff to talk about with you. Anyway, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Whether it's day or night, or you're about to kind of look out at the horizon and realize, hey, that's actually flat. Alright, so let's get things kicked off here. We are in survival mode. Obviously, 3 weapons come out. I choose one of them, and I make the day very bad for all the unfortunate souls that come out of those gates. Anyway, we have a pitchfork. We have a bow staff, and we have the hunting sword. This thing is ridiculous. Let's try the hunting sword. Why not? It's another great day for murder here on Orpheus Plays. Yeah, so let's get our first traditional slow motion kill out of the way first here, because oh my gosh, do I want to talk about this. Alright, here we go, our first unfortunate victim coming up here. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with this. Do I like just kind of avoid him, smack, and then I just oh, he's uh-oh, we're gonna slowly stick this into him here. Come here. Oh, unhand me. Ha! Nope, okay. This one's taking too long. Oh, he is also our drama queen of the day. Refuses to get off screen, watch his head splat. Oh, with that out of the way, let's get going on our topic today. So, flat Earth. I know that I said that I would normally never do drama on this channel, but I gotta tell you something. I've been seeing it more and more often here on YouTube, this concept of flat Earth. And of course, y'all know what it is, right? It's this idea that, like, okay, the Earth is actually flat, and the sun is just this, like, rotating ball that goes around in the sky, and that we're all actually on this flat disc, right? You've seen it, right? There's supposed to be this big wall of Arctic snow. There's this big wall that stops us from going any further, and we're supposed to be able to... Did he just fall and kill himself? You know, health and safety, we should probably look into that. Anyway, so this idea of, like, we're stuck on this disc, right? Instead of it being a globe, and no matter what you do, right? And there are entire channels that dedicate themselves just to, like, trying to prove these morons wrong. Alright, so, first of all, if you're a flat earther and you're watching my videos, why? Don't you have things to do other than watch simple videos? You have to go out and, like, prove something, don't you? So they have this absurd belief that, like, the Earth is actually flat. And that, not just that, but all of the governments throughout the world and all of the people throughout history that have said that the Earth is round, right? That they're all involved in some grand conspiracy to keep us dumb and get us involved in this globe Earth myth that's going on. Okay. What is this? A Tekon? This looks like it's a fake sword. Is this like a blunt training sword? Oh, great. Okay. So, you see all these people, and they're trying constantly to prove it, that there's this big conspiracy and everything. So, you know, you see it on YouTube, and you're like, oh, okay. Right? This is just blunt, isn't it? Screw this. What do I have? Ooh, I have a headhunting axe. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. She's just gone, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway. So, you see it on YouTube and you go, this has to be just some crazy fringe thing, right? Like, there can't actually be people out there who are like this. They've all got to be sitting on some Discord server somewhere, just, self-confirming and doing confirmation bias just for their own little echo chamber, right? You figure that's the only place it is. It's just on YouTube. It's nothing, there's no actual people that believe that. Well... Your old pal Orpheus has confirmed that there are people that are that dumb out there. Again, if you're actually a flat earther and I'm offending you right now, I'm sorry. I have a brain and I like to use it, and I'm also very into science and have been since I was a kid. So, here's the thing. if you're a flat earther and you're watching, you should probably tune away now, because this is going to be an enormous trigger warning for you, right? For the rest of you, no, you know what? Hold on. Let's give the flat earthers a couple seconds to get out of here. You are dumb, da 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 da. You are so dumb, do do do. Okay, so they should be gone now. So now it's just you and me. Good. Now that we have some rational people that I'm talking to. I was at the grocery store the other day. And I'm just kind of like sitting there in line. I've gotten all my stuff. This thing isn't as good as I thought it would be. I was sitting in line and I'm waiting to check out, and I hear this guy in front of me talking to his girlfriend. And I knew it was his girlfriend because he was just kind of instructing her, and they, you know, he said something along the lines of, you know, before we go on this date, I need to let you know something. And I was like, this is interesting, right? So I'm kind of quietly, like, you know, eavesdropping a little bit, right? Like, I'm behind one of the key, like the end caps, and I'm just kind of like, you know, doing this. And this guy is starting to talk to his girlfriend about how, you know, flat Earth is this thing, and he's like going, you know, and there's this conspiracy, they're trying to keep it from us, and even when they say that they're going up into space, you know, and she says, well, what about the International Space Station? I've seen them, you know, live from the International Space Station. And he says, yeah, but haven't you seen the Avengers? They're really good at CGI these days, right? So she's like, I don't know, right? And he starts rattling off stuff like, you know, well, the drop rate of the horizon is supposed to be, you know, this many feet for this many miles, and clearly you can see in places where you're over here and you can look and so I'm just kind of like, I'm just at first kind of rolling my eyes about this, right? Because I'm just like, all right, it's just a dumb joke. I was fascinated because it was like, you know, like I said, this was the first instance of me actually seeing a flat earther, like, in person. And this guy, okay. Picture what you think a flat earther would look like. Yeah, whatever you're picturing is probably exactly on for what this guy looked like. He was like a 400-pound neckbeard who decided that, you know, he not only was he lucky enough to get himself a date, but now he's gonna screw with this person, and his chances by telling her something just absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I was amazed. I'm like, you know, this is fascinating. It's like David Attenborough when he's doing one of those, what is it, the nature documentaries. And here we see the native flat earther in his environment trying to persuade another one of the creatures about his beliefs. But so he's sitting there and he's going, yeah, and so, you know, here's what happens, and I've seen this, and I've talked to other people that are experts and they're scientists and everything. And I'm just like, the blood is starting to boil, and your old pal Orpheus here, he's sitting there in line, and I've moved up, so I'm past the end cap, so I'm like, now he's the next guy in line in front of me. They're still checking out a person in front of him, so I've got about 5 minutes where I'm sitting in line. So there's also someone behind me now, so you're kind of parked in, right? So it's like a guy getting checked out, this idiot, me, and Mrs. Orpheus, and then someone behind us. So it's like, you know, it's not like we were going anywhere, right? Let me put this away. Woo! So I look at my wife, and I start rolling my eyes, and I start kind of leaning into mumble to her, and she's like, don't. Just don't. Just don't, Orpheus. I'm like, look, I can't let this go, because I've been watching some of these flat Earth videos lately, because I find them absolutely fascinating to watch between my true crime videos, right? I love true crime. I love watching true crime videos here on YouTube. And so in between those, I'll kind of refresh my palate with hearing about more stupid people, right? These flat Earth people. And so I was kind of like itching to get my first experience of like talking to one of these people. So I go to Mrs. Orpheus and like, I have to say something, honey. I have to. And she goes, no, don't do it. So I'm like, screw it. I lean forward to the guy and I'm like, can I ask you something real quick? He goes, yeah. Do you really think in 2023 that it is possible to get fooled completely that much when there are, like, you know, individuals that can send up rockets to see the Earth that is curved? You have people that, you know, SpaceX, right? I said, there's SpaceX, and there's the United Launch Alliance, and there's like Electron and Rocket Lab. And I'm like, anyone can reach space now. You just need a couple $100, right? And he goes, that's all a conspiracy. I said, wait a minute. So you're telling me that like kids from MIT, right? Like college students or like, high school students that get a chance to, get a chance to send up a scientific experiment like with one of the SpaceX launches or something like that. You're like a CubeSat or something like that. What about those, right? I said, is every single person like that involved in some vast government conspiracy where you think that they're all hiding the fact that the Earth is actually flat instead of round? And he said, yeah, in order to get up into space, you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. You have to sign a non-disclosure agreement that you're not going to let people know it's actually flat. And so I'm like, that's a really interesting opinion. He says, no. He says, no, that is absolutely not an opinion. Up until this point, I was trying to keep it lighthearted. Like, oh, okay. What about this? This seems like you're not taking a few things into account here. Suddenly it changed. The look on his face went from like sort of amused to like, oh, I'm gonna tell this MFer what's going on. I can't believe he's so dumb. Like the look that I was giving him just a couple minutes before, right? And so he's like, no, I don't think you understand how big of a deal it is that this world is actually flat and they're keeping it from us. And I said, Are you getting upset about this? He said, well, honestly, I have to defend it all the time with people. And I'm just like, a little switch went off in my brain, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done dealing with this dum-dum. I said, yeah, you know why you have to defend it all the time? He says, why? I said, because you're an idiot. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I have autism, okay? And I have brain damage. And so occasionally, I've covered this in other videos, I say and do things occasionally that are extremely stupid, and I don't have a filter sometimes between my brain and my mouth, so I just full on, like, you're an idiot. And this guy, he looks at me, and he looks at his girlfriend, and, you see him kind of puff up, right? Like he's gonna do something, but I know... Like, this guy hasn't left the house, to do anything physical in years, right? You can tell that he goes out and drinks, and that's about the only workout that he gets, right? So he starts getting all puffed up, and I'm like, what? Like, I wasn't like, whoa, what are you gonna do, man? I was like, what? Why are you getting so upset about this? I said, I personally was at a school where we sent a camera up on the space shuttle in order to get like student photos that we could like have at our school. And he goes, oh yeah, on the space shuttle? Which one? And I said, it was on Challenger. Well, I guess that was the wrong answer because he started giggling. And I said, wait, what are you laughing at? And he said, oh, Challenger, the one that exploded, right? And I said, yeah, actually, the camera was on that flight, which it was. I've told the story, at least a little bit of that story in a recent video about how, my school was chosen as one for a couple of things. Our science teacher was the first runner-up, or the second runner-up, for going on their education and space program, where they sent a teacher up on the space shuttle, and the idea was that they would have her up there, and it would have been really cool. They had chosen a woman named Krista McAuliffe for that, and one of our science teacher for the middle school was the second runner-up, and he had been trained as an astronaut and everything in order to be a mission specialist. And another student in our school was actually chosen to send his camera up. And it was, a film camera, a 35mm camera. And, Krista McAuliffe had that camera, and she was going to take a bunch of pictures and then send them back and bring them back down to Earth and everything. And if you have been living under a rock all these days, you don't know about the Challenger explosion. It is something that happened. The space shuttle blew up, and it was the first one, and we all got to watch it live on TV. It was kind of an experience, but this guy, we're going back to him. This guy was like, "Oh, the Challenger, the one that exploded, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Didn't you ever think that maybe they hit the dome?" And I said, "The what?" He said, "Yeah, there's a dome that's over the..." Excuse me, I'm getting all choked up from this moron. He says, "Yeah, there's a dome that's over the planet." Now, this is kind of a combination of like the Bible and flat Earth, and it's really an interesting concept that there's like this crystal dome that's somehow over us. So this guy actually thought that the Challenger blew up. The Challenger blew up because it skipped off of that dome. So I was like, I guess there's no arguing with you, right? And he said, "Well, if you're gonna continue to be one of the co-conspirators and the round Earth believers," I'm just like, I turned to my wife. I'm like, he called me a round Earth believer, like it's some sort of crazy fringe group, right? Like it's not exactly what he and his cohorts have been doing the whole time. Anyway, at that point. Thankfully, it was his turn to get his groceries checked out, and it just kind of like we both kind of just turned away from each other. He did his thing, and I just kind of turned around and started whispering to my wife. Oh man! Now I guess I could have gotten into a fight over this, or tried to, give him a little bit of extra information. But here's the thing: if you've seen anything about these flat earthers, they don't care about whatever evidence you have. Anything that you can come up with, they're like, "Oh, that's just someone, saying that it's, false or whatever." So, I guess the point is here today, ladies and gentlemen, is do your own research. Go out and find out your own stuff. But for the love of God, don't you dare go ahead and try to disprove something that was proven like in 320 BC, for the love of God. Please, don't just go ahead and make it look like you understand that concept because you decided not to accept that the Earth is, in fact, round. Anyway, hope I didn't tick off too many of you with the flat Earth thing. Hey, if you're a flat earther and you're still watching, thank you for checking out my video. Thank you for giving me more views. I really appreciate that. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one here on Orpheus Plays. Do good, be good, treat yourself well, and go on a nice long cruise around the globe. And I'll see you next time here on Orpheus Plays. Bye.